So we are going to start sitting on our butts, but with our legs bent out in front of us. So just a nice little, take your time too, as you come down and sit down onto your butt. And then just with a nice space between your knees, then just kind of soften over. So there's just like this nice little soft position of the body, soft through your back, not too much efforting if you can find it. And then you might notice where you're sitting on your butt. So if you can just kind of take a little gentle rock side to side and notice if you're sitting on your sits bones, and that's ideal if you can find it. Or if you notice if you're kind of rounded, hunched back past your sits bones, or if your booty is sticking way out and you have a tendency to arch your back. So see if you can kind of squiggle your butt around so that you are sitting on top of the sits bones. And then if you found that position, now soften through the back of your neck. And then once you've got this going on and there's not too much efforting, if you're able to kind of relax into this position, now see if you can just tune in and notice the movement of breath. Think back of the ribs, low part of the ribs. So right around where the bottom of your ribs are. See if you can start to feel some movement of breath in that space. Take one more breath here. And then before we move away from this place of gentle stillness, just take a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Cool. And then with that intention set, start to walk yourself up to a slightly taller position. But now hands are going to come behind the back and we're going to soften into our elbows a little bit. So if you can lean back, now you might be coming past or off your sits bones. So just with that little bit of a curl of your tail under. And then we're going to start with some gentle windshield wipers. So not full range of motion, but just allow a little bit of movement of the knees swishing side to side. And then see if you can just kind of tune in and notice if you're getting a light massage to the glutes on the ground. Notice here if there's any clicking, if there's anything catching up in your hips, just tune in and notice. And then you might choose to make a smaller range of motion if you're noticing anything clicking in your hips. Take one more little swish of the knees side to side, and then we're going to come down a little bit lower. So think elbows and forearms. So we're going to soften down, still keeping that bent knee position. And then once you got your elbows and forearms down, come back to that light swish of the knees side to side. But now notice, so now you're coming up a little bit higher on the hips, and you might even feel a little connection of your low back to the floor. So as you drop your knees side to side, maybe you let your hips and your torso move with you just a little bit. Cool. One more swish of the knees side to side. And then knees are going to come back to a central position, and we're going to walk the feet in. So feet are about hip width distance apart, heels a little bit closer to your butt. And then once you've got that position going on, we're going to take some heel drags. So you're going to gently push into your right heel, slide your heel towards the end of the mat, and then push into your heel, drag your heel and slide it in. Do that again. Stay with the right leg. Push into your heel, drag the heel, which might catch on your sticky mat just a little bit. So work through those little hiccups and then push into your heel, drag the heel, slide it back in. And then do that one more time. Push into your heel, drag the heel as you slide it out. Push into the heel, drag and slide it in. And now we're going to switch over to the left side. So anchor into your right leg, lift your left toes, slide your heel to the end of your mat, push into the heel, drag the heel, slide it back in. Push into the heel, slide and drag the heel, which might hiccup a little bit. Just let it catch as it does. And then push into the heel, slide it back in. Awesome. Do that one more time. Push into the heel and slide. push into the heel and drag it back in. And now we're going to come back to the right leg. So we're going to extend the right leg out towards the end of the mat and then start to find a little hover of the heel. So we're just going to take a few little lifts and lowers with the heel extended out nice and long. And then once you feel like you've got that range of motion going on, now we're going to take it a little further, lifting up so that the knee meets the knee and lowering down, but the heel is going to hover. Lift up, let the knee meet the knee, lower down, but let the heel hover. Lift up, let the heel meet the knee. Now hold here, and we're going to take little micro movements outward. So we're going to swing out about 2 inches and then bring it back in. Awesome. And then when you're ready, bend that knee, release it down. We're going to take it to the other side. So left leg is going to slide out, heel is going to hover. Take a couple of gentle lifts and lowers here. Notice how your leg feels. And then assuming it doesn't create any compromise in your comfort, start to find that lift and lower up to the knee and then lower back down. Awesome. And now the next time you come up to knee height, stay there. Take it out about 2 inches and then bring it back in. So now maybe you're finding a little bit of engagement in your inner thigh muscles as well. Nice. One more in and out. And then as you come back in, bend the knee, set it down, and now we're going to lower all the way onto our back. So walk your elbows out nice and wide. Take your time as you come on down. And then once you've got your back settled into the floor, find your hip points, and we're going to move right into pelvic tilt, but we're going to reverse the breath. So take an inhale. Take a nice slow exhale. And then as you inhale again, press your low back into the ground. Exhale, release to the natural curve of your back. Inhale, press your low back into the ground. Exhale to release. Inhale, press your low back down. Exhale to release, and then release your hands from your hip points. Hands are going to come down alongside the hips, and we're going to take it into our half bridges. So we're going to go to that halfway point, not the full bridge that you can do. And then you're going to take it in a reverse breath. So you're going to exhale, lift up into that halfway bridge. Try to keep the backs of your ribs connected to the ground. Inhale, release your butt back down. Exhale, lift your hips up just halfway. Inhale to release down. Exhale, lift up, backs of the ribs stay connected to the ground. Inhale to release. Exhale to lift. Inhale, release. One more time. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. And then draw your right knee up towards the chest with a loose handhold. Take your knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Let your hands do most of the work here if you can. So arms are drawing the knee in circle, and we're going to try and encourage just a soft looseness in the glute muscles. Cool, and then take that knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Awesome. Now we're going to take that right knee and swing it out towards the right shoulder. So we open the hip up just a little bit and then circle your foot, go in one direction. Circle your foot, go the other way. Foot comes to stillness, and now we're going to take that knee and draw it towards the left shoulder. So slightly across the midline of the body, you might feel those stretch in your glute, and then bring it back to that center line. Bring it towards the left shoulder, just slightly across the midline of your body. Bring it back. Do that one more time. Bring it slightly across the midline of your body. Bring it back, set it down, and we're going to switch to the other side. So pull the left knee into your chest with a loose handhold. Hands do the work here. Draw your knee in circles, go in one direction. Try to encourage a soft looseness in your glutes. So let your arms do the work and let your muscles in your legs relax as much as possible. Cool. And then take that knee and draw it in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then take that knee and pass it towards the left shoulder, open it out just a little bit, and then circle your foot in one direction. Circle your foot the other way. Great. And then take that knee and pass it towards the right shoulder. So slightly across the midline, and then bring it back. Bring it slightly towards the shoulder across the midline, and bring it back. Do that one more time. Slightly across the midline towards the right shoulder, Bring it back, and then we're going to pull both knees in towards the chest, a loose handhold. So just let the weight of your hands rest on your knees or your shins. Make a little space so there's plenty of space for your belly and your chest. And then hang out here and just take 3 to 5 nice deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to set the feet down, walk the feet a little closer to each other. So we're going to bring our legs into that reclined butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees are going to come out to the left and to the right. Let your knees get heavy for just a moment. Notice your inner thighs. Notice that area right around the front hip bones. Draw a line just about 2 inches down. Notice that space right there. You might feel a little tender stretch there. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, pull your knees in towards each other. And now we're going to put a little pressure on. So knees are going to press in towards each other. Inner thighs are touching, knees are touching, feet are touching if you can find all of that. And then knees are pushing in towards each other. And we're going to hold that pushing in sensation. So actively pushing inwards, hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that position. Step your feet so they're about hip width distance apart, hands down on the ground. Exhale, lift up to that halfway bridge. Hold that bridge for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips down, soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. So back to that reclined butterfly position. Just one breath. So inhale a nice full breath. Let the lungs fill up. Exhale nice and slow. Bring your knees together, toes together, knees together, inner thighs together. Push inward. Hold that pushing sensation for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Step your feet to hip width distance apart, hands down on the ground. Exhale, lift up to that halfway bridge. Hold that halfway bridge. So backs of the ribs are connected to the ground. Glutes are engaged. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips down. Right leg is going to come across the left into a figure 4 shape. So take the right leg across and then hands free to start. We're going to inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale and lower it right back down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. And this time, as we lift up, we're going to thread the hands through. So see if you can get a handhold, back of the thigh or the top of the shin, just whatever feels like a comfortable grab, but loose hold position. So rather than pulling it super tight to the chest, a loose hold, and then just rock your figure 4 gently side to side. One more little rock side to side. And then as you come back to that more central or neutral position, now draw the legs into your comfort level, put a little flex in your right foot so your knee feels good, and then soften your shoulders down. And now see if you can get a sense of where your solar plexus is. So that space right underneath the front of the ribs, between the belly button and the ribs. So tune into the solar plexus and see if you can just kind of breathe and expand into the solar plexus. So breathe down into the solar plexus, fill your lungs up. Exhale nice and slow. Breathe down into the solar plexus and then fill up all the way up to the collarbones. Exhale nice and slow. Breathe down into the solar plexus, into the backs of the ribs, all the way up to the collarbones. Exhale nice and slow. And then when you're ready, release your figure 4 hold. Step your right foot off, pause for a moment, notice how one side feels a little different than the other, and then we're going to take it right to the other side. So left leg across the right, find your figure 4, hands free to start. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale to lower it down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. And now we're going to lift up, thread the hands through, grab a handhold. So back of the thigh or the tops of the shins, just whatever works good for you. But then once you've got a handhold, a soft handhold so that you can rock gently side to side. Small range of motion here. Just make sure everything feels comfortable. One more little rock side to side. And then when you're ready, draw it in just a little bit to your comfort level, a light flex in the foot so we keep the knee happy, and then tune into come back to that awareness of your solar plexus. So notice that space below the ribs, but above the belly button, and then see if you can breathe into the lungs. Think nice deep breath, breathing down into the solar plexus and then up into the collarbones. Breathe down into the solar plexus and the back bottom of the ribs. Breathe into the solar plexus, fill up the bottom of the lungs all the way up to the collarbones. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully release. Step the left foot off the right, toe heel your feet out nice and wide this time, and take it into some really big windshield wipers. So swishing the knees side to side in as wide of a range of motion as your hips will allow. Take one more swish of the knees side to side. And then we're going to start to come up to a seated position. So if you like, pull your knees into your chest or grab the backs of your thighs and then rock and roll your way up, but we're going to take it right into a little zigzag seat. So swing your legs out to the left so that the right leg is out in front of you, left leg is out to the side. And then once you've got your way there, we're going to walk ourselves out to a fold. So walk yourself out to a depth that feels good to you. Just make sure that your front knee feels okay and happy in that position. If your knee gets a little bit cranky, come back up, readjust your leg, and then see if you can fold back into it. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly start to walk yourself back up, but keep that zigzag position of your feet. So the leg that's in front, that arm is going to reach up alongside the ear and we're going to lean away. So we're going to take a little bit of a side bend. One more breath here. Lift up and we're going to take a little counter stretch. So let that hand touch down. The other hand is going to lift up. Take one gentle breath and then lift right up and out of it. But now we're going to take a little bit of a rotation. So the leg that's in front of you, rotate towards that knee. Get a gentle twist here, but think about uplifting through the heart. Lift up through the heart, lift up through the top of your head. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, release, lean back into your sits bones, swing your legs out in front of you, take a couple little windshield wipers, just make sure your knees feel good and your hips are okay. And then once you've got that kind of dull ache worked out, we're going to take it to the other side. So swing your legs into that zigzag seat. Take a second to make sure everything feels comfortable. And then once you're there, walk yourself out to a depth that feels good to you. Once you get there, if your knee feels a little bit cranky, come back up, readjust, and then see if you can settle back into it. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. The leg that's in front, that's the hand that's going to reach up. Take a side bend. So we're going to lean over to the right. One more breath. And then a quick counter stretch. So left hand's going to touch down, right hand's going to reach up. Just lean out a little bit, create a little bit of space. And then right away, lift up. And now we're going to take it right into our twist, rotating towards that front knee. And then think lifting through the chest, lifting up through the crown of your head. So get nice and tall. Awesome. When you're ready, nice and easy, release. And now we're going to lean back into the sits bones, swing the legs out, take a couple gentle windshield wipers, just make sure everything feels good. And then when you feel ready, we're going to take it right into a tabletop position. So swing your legs around, come onto all fours, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. Once you've got your weight here, we're going to curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back to your heels. So get a little stretch to the toes, get a little stretch to the bottoms of the feet. And then if it feels good to do so, push into your palms. So you're pushing just a little bit more of your weight back into your heels. And then while you're keeping all of this position, so weight is back in the heels, a gentle pressure into the hands. Now, can you push your toes into the ground as if you're trying to strengthen your toes? So think like you're trying to do a little toe push-up. So if you've got this butt back to the heels position, you're stretching through the bottoms of the feet, but now can you add an element of strength? Push your toes into the ground, feel the bottoms of your feet fire up, and then release. Push your toes into the ground, feel the bottoms of your feet fire up, and then release. One more, just like that. Push your toes into the ground. Maybe you even feel a little action in your calves or your shins, and then release. And then lift gently up away from your heels, release your toes, move right into puppy pose. Walk your hands to the top edge of your mat, nice wide space so there's plenty of space for the chest and the forehead to sink down. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully bring it back up to the tabletop position. And we're going to come back to child's pose. So big toes together, knees together. So we're going to go with that closer position. Draw your butt back to your heels. Feet are soft on the ground. And then once you've got your butt back to your heels, notice how that feels. If that's too much, you're going to lift off or walk your knees a little bit wider. But if it feels okay to be here and you can soften your belly onto your thighs, now see if you can slide your hands back. Let your hands touch the soles of the feet. Let your forehead soften down so it's just soft roundness through the back of the body. And then see if you can tune in again and notice the breath. Notice your breath in the back of your ribs. Take one more breath. And then just assuming that this is a comfortable enough position to be in, you're going to walk your hands in a little bit so you can lift your belly and chest away from your thighs. And now we're going to take some light fists. So we're going to make our fists and then bring them just alongside the belly button. So we're going to find that soft tissue of the belly. And then once you fold into it, you'll make just a little bit of space so everything can rest comfortably. So we're going to make those fists right alongside the belly button and then start to fold yourself over again. So you're going to feel your fists create a compression against the belly. And then if you can arrange it, just get your fists in there so it's nice and soft and comfortable. Soften your abdomen just as much as you can. And this hopefully helps with digestion and then helps massage the psoas. So we want to keep those fists there, soften the abdomen, and then come back to your breath. Nice, big, generous inhale. Slow but natural exhale. So no need to force the air out, but just let everything go. Big, generous inhale, fill your lungs up. Slow but natural exhale and let the belly be as soft as it can. Take one more breath. And then we'll come up with control. So think about reaching up through the crown of your head. Come up slow and controlled. And then as you come up to that upright seated position, just release your fist. Maybe give your belly a nice little rub. Circle in one direction. Circle the other way. Cool. And then when you're ready, we're going to come forward into our tabletop position. Take one cat-cow here just to soothe the spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, look towards your belly button. Release to the natural, release to your neutral spine, and then swing your legs out to one side. We're going to come down onto one side, and then we're going to roll over into the other side. So you come to the right or to the left, just whatever works better for you, but no, we'll hit both sides. So come down into a side lying position, and then see if you can just take your bottom hand and either support the head or have it out in front of you. That'll be totally up to you, just whatever feels the most comfortable. But we're going to try to grab hold of the top leg foot. So lift your top leg up, swing the foot out just a little bit so that you can catch hold of the blade edge of your foot. And then once you've caught hold of the foot, let the knee reach down towards the end of your mat. So your heel is hugging in towards your butt, knee is lengthening nice and long. So hopefully here you're finding a little bit of gentle tug through the top of the thigh up into that area where your front pocket would be. And then if you feel like you've found that sensation and you know what's going on, now you're going to, with a firm handhold, you're going to think about pushing your foot into your hand. So you're going to let the quadricep muscles, the tops of the thighs, fire up. Push your foot into your hand and then release. Push your foot into your hand and release. Do that one more time. Push your foot into your hand, release, heel nice and tight towards your bum. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then with control, gently release that foot. Pause just for a moment. Notice how one side feels a little different than the other. And then we're going to roll over into the other side. So you flip over in any way that works good for you. I'm going to flip around so that I can face out towards the camera. Find your side lying position, arm under the head or straight out in front of you, just whatever is the most comfortable. But then once you've got your body in a good position, kick that leg up so you can lift and hold on to the blade edge of the foot. Once you've got your handhold, hug your heel in towards your butt, let your knee drop down so it's reaching towards the end of the mat. So hopefully, again, we're finding sensation through the top of the thigh, maybe through the front pocket area. Now we'll add a little element of strength. So see if you can think about pushing the top of your foot into your hand. Hand is going to resist. Quadriceps are going to fire up. And then release. Push your foot into your hands. And release. Do that one more time. Push your foot into your hand. Release, hug your heel in as close towards your bum as you can. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then with control, release that foot. And now we're going to come onto our backside. So flip over in any way that works good for you. And then once you've found your way onto your backside, we're going to move right into a supine twist. So right knee is going to hug in towards the chest. Left leg is going to go nice and long. We're only going to stay for one big giant breath. So take that right knee over and across the body to the left. Right arm opens wide. Head turns to the right. Take a nice big inhale and think about filling your lungs up. Nice slow exhale. Pull your right knee into your chest. Bring the left knee into meet. So both knees come in for a light little hug. Hold on to your left knee. Let the right leg go nice and long. Supine twist to the other side, but just for one big breath. So take that knee over and across the body. Left hand opens wide. Head turns to the left. Take your big giant inhale. Fill your lungs up. Nice slow exhale. Pull the left knee back into the chest. Right knee comes into meet. And then we're going to go soft legs up the wall. So just float your feet upward towards the sky, but keep a super generous bend in the knees. So knees are nice and bent, feet are nice and soft, tailbone and hips are nice and heavy on the ground. And then just for a moment here, let your arms find anatomical position. So about 45 degrees away from the side of the body, palms facing up, and just arrange your shoulder blades so that they're snuggled in nice and soft. Once you've got your way here with just as little efforting as you can find, soften the feet, soften your knees. Take one more breath. And then we'll start to find our way to Shavasana. So any variation of the body that feels good to you. If it feels good and supportive, you might choose to come to constructive rest, feet a little bit wide, knees dropped in towards each other. If you want a little action for the hips and you know that it's good for you, you might choose to come to reclined cobbler's pose, soles of the feet together. But maybe here you tuck some pillows underneath your thighs, so it's a good supported position and you're not pulling too much against the SI. Any other variation of the body that feels good, you might choose that more traditional shape, walk your feet long, or if it feels better to be on one side or flip over onto your belly. Anything that allows you to find a moment of stillness, whatever that means to you. So rearrange your body, get all situated. And then once you feel like you're there, maybe you just close your eyes down or soften your gaze and start to allow your breath to come in and out at a natural rhythm. As your body starts to soften and settle in, maybe notice if you're holding any tension around the hips or if you're holding tension in your abdomen. See if you can sort of allow for a deliberate letting go. So soften your belly button, soften your abdomen. Think about letting the back of your body just get a little deeper and heavier into the ground. Hips are nice and heavy, arms are nice and heavy. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. If it feels beneficial to stay there, stay there. But if you feel called to do so or your day requires it, maybe you start to gently reawaken your body. Maybe rock your head a little side to side, wiggle your fingers, move your wrists, wiggle your toes, move your ankles, any gentle bit of movement here that allows you to reconnect. And then if it feels good to do so, maybe take it into a big good morning stretch, stretch your feet long, reach your arms up and overhead and just create a little length through the front of your body. Awesome. And then when you feel ready in your own way, start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Maybe coming back up to Sukhasana or any other seat that feels good and just lets you sit up nice and tall. Nice. And then once you found your way up to your tall seat, bring your hands together and fire up your palms. Get your hands nice and good and hot. Keep those hands firing up. Take one nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. And then when you feel ready, hands to the hip points or hip bones, whatever feels right to you, close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Bring your hands back together, fire up your palms, get them nice and good and hot. Keep those hands firing up. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. And then when you're ready, hands are going to stack right on top of the solar plexus. Close your eyes down if it feels right. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Bring your hands back together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. And then when you feel ready, we're going to give ourselves a little hug. So hands are going to catch the shoulders. Let your elbows be a little soft and heavy. Let your shoulders be a little soft and heavy. Close your eyes down. Even if it feels good, tuck your chin gently towards your chest and you might create a little space through the back of your body. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Give yourself one last little squeeze. And then release your hands from that hug. Stack your hands on top of your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time you take to take care of yourself. Take another nice big inhale. Maybe let your shoulders lift, let your face scrunch up just a little bit. And then as you exhale, let everything soften and melt. And think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your day. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Saturday. You guys are amazing.